do this in prime time, under the bright lights for you on the sidelines, and fans in the stands keeping doubly pride high. The gridiron fly guys. Look comes next to bring back the chip and add another brick to the legacy. Cause it's double E over everything. Double E's a legacy. Double E over everything.
A hot day, a hot ticket, a hot team, a hot new intro. The Edmonton Elks come back home, winners of 4 of their last 5 games, looking to do something they haven't done since 2002, and that's sweep the Labor Day Series. A chance to begin their climb up the West Division, pushed on by the Double E faithful. It's the Battle of Old Barn Lounge, right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Thanks to those tuning in on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, and for those fully produced. I think his son was the one producing it based on the
way, Matty.
Oh, we've got 2 different horses. I got 2 horses.
I need
Jay's
the 6 to come up here. Oh, the 6 is moving, man.
We'll get into that right away here. But this is you keep an eye on that. I'll get going through on some of these other things. But one, thanks to Josh Clausen, because that's a great start to the Green and Gold Kickoff Show. Couldn't think of anything better, especially with a lot of buzz in town right now in the city of Edmonton when it comes to, internet's a little laggy. So apologies to everyone if it's a little laggy. Hopefully we get back going here. We need to get to green here, and then we will be good. I think we're good now. Well, let's just jump right into the starting lineups of the Edmonton Elks. McLeod Bethel Thompson, the starting quarterback for your Elks. Ivy Foucault, Cordy Richards, Boyko are the men protecting him from left to right. Leak is the starting running back. The receiving core, Lewis, Gittins Jr., Mitchell, Jones, and Mayala. Defensively on the D-line, Curtis, Pelly, Oakman, Brown, Morgan, Anderson, and Moncrief for the linebacking core. Purifoy, Bratton, Jackson, Gray, and Bynum. That is the secondary. Beatty back to being the kicker of the Edmonton Elks, and Julian will punt. Injury report, Mr. Milne.
Not much action on the injury report. I mean, the kicking move is really the only thing, but there was no injuries involved. Boris Beatty is back in to the lineup. Dean Faithful is out. So we'll see, if that means anything at all today, having Boris Beatty in. But I must say, Enrico Brownmark in the nasty chat, yes, I got here before Matty today, and then he showed up, and I said, oh, God. We are wearing like the exact same color shirt. No, we did not call each other in advance and plan this. It was just happened. I don't think your 4 came in, Matty.
No, I think your 6 came in.
I know, but I needed the 2 as well. I had an exactor. Wake up. Get with the times.
I was double checking. My horse, we're right there at the edge.
You were there. You were close, but...
And 7 finished 4th. I got 2 of the top 4. They just didn't come in the right spot. I came prepared with the Edmonton Elks, or not the Edmonton Elks, the Edmonton Sports Talk polo.
Yes, and it's a fine-looking shirt. Nobody can say that we're underdressed or we look like slobs.
You want to know something? What we did here is we wanted to be impartial. Because the key is not to be a fan of any teams. And the Edmonton Elks, last I saw, was green and gold. The Stampeders are white, black, and red.
They're red and white.
Okay, and we're a light blue.
Yes, this is the most impartial.
We're impartial, because that's what you have to do is be impartial. Sorry, I had to say that. I want to get to the Calgary Stampeders lineup. The big change, we'll get to this in the show. Logan Botter, the new starting quarterback. You heard it here first on the postgame show. Not from me. I said that's not going to happen. I said Jake Mayer is going to be starting this week. But do you know who said we might be seeing a new quarterback for the Calgary Stampeders this week? The guy to my right. That is glue guy Jay Milne. And Dave Dickinson was listening. He makes that change in a must-win game for the Calgary Stampeders if they're looking to salvage their season. Weather for today, it's going to be a beautiful night down at Commonwealth Stadium. 30 degrees by the time kickoff happens. Air quality is a little bit of a concern. Air quality 8 to 9 to 10, depending on which station you're looking at. By the end of the game, there will be 26 degrees, but a beautiful day outside. And what makes this even better is, ticket-wise, Commonwealth Stadium-wise, 31.5 is the lower bowl. We will hear the attendance after today's game being over 30,000.
Yes.
It's a matter of how high is it going to now get. I'm just opening up Ticketmaster right now. And so they're down to the final few rows.
What would you say is left there? Like 200 seats?
As these get sold, they're releasing these ones above them still. Those ones aren't for sale just yet.
Awesome. That is
I would say, if I had to guess, how many are in a row here? This row starts on seat 1 and goes to seat 26. So I would say there's probably between 500 and 750 seats left.
Yeah.
From the Edmonton Elks having a sold-out lower bowl for this game. I can't imagine what the tailgate looks like right now.
Buzzing.
I can't imagine how nice that concourse is going to look. I'll say this. We Metallica Pink, we hear it's too busy. This will fit perfectly.
Yes.
Inside Commonwealth Stadium. If you have 31,000 people at Commonwealth, that's designed for 44, it's not going to be too busy, but it's going to be full.
Yes.
And I'm very excited to see the reports that come from this game, because last year on the Labor Day rematch, it was over 31,000. That's what they announced. But it was split between the upper bowl and the lower bowl. Having everyone crammed into the lower bowl, are we going to see a better atmosphere? Plus 10,000 cowbells being handed out in today's game.
Stealing all my stuff again, Matt. You know, we have a segment of our show called The Three Stories that we usually get to, now presented by James H. Brown and Associates. Thank you for that. And we usually talk about these things. But no, go ahead. We'll just start the show with it. No big deal.
Well, I didn't go into the rest of it. We'll discuss that then, I guess. To come on the show, we hear from Tevin Jones, receiver from last week. He's had an okay game.
Yeah.
I maybe could have done a little bit more.
Yeah, we could have used
over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Why couldn't he go over 250? I don't know.
And I did ask him that question on the Reed Wilkins show. I asked him point blank. You gave the peace sign. Usually that means I'm scoring, and you got tackled on the 1-yard line. How much ribbing did you get from your teammates? And it was unanimously, you do not do that again unless you're scoring. So on the long bomb, on the corner route where he scored his second touchdown, immediately put up the peace sign. He was in, but he had to run a little harder at the end of that. So,
well, he said to you guys, MBT told him, if you're ever going to do that again, make sure you are going to score. And that's what he did it the second time.
He laughed about it. It was good. It was. I didn't know if that would go over well, but he took it all in stride.
We will get to our cool bet props of the game, our keys to the game, and prediction from Mr. Jay Milne. See, I won't steal that one from you.
Yeah, well, you can't, because you don't predict anything, Mr. Lean.
Let's get to our question of the night. You don't know it.
I don't know it.
Why can't I open up Twitter properly? Why am I putting an S when I type in Twitter? Here's the question of the night. I will read my 4 options that I have on Twitter. Has your interest in the Edmonton Elks increased since they've won 4 of their last 5 games? Here are the 4 answers that I threw up there on Twitter. Yes, I'm following them more. It's the same. I was already very interested. It's the same. I'm not interested. Or no, I've stopped watching because of this.
Wow, that's just a...
It's got 5% of the votes.
Yeah, of course it does. I would...
Maybe some people just really love losing. Maybe they really...
read the question again, Maddie.
And for you, it's not... It should be the same, I would think.
Yeah, it's the same.
Has your interest in the Elks increased since they've won 4 of their last 5 games?
I would say a lot of people would vote that yes, I am more interested and I am following it because, I mean, look, when people want to support winners, so they've won 4 of their last 5. That's gonna bring people out that wrote this team off after the 0-7 start. So I would say that the number 1 or the highest voting would go to the people that said yes. I'm more involved now, or I'm watching more now that they have become, of recent success.
Well, and the thing for me was, where does it's the same, I'm just not interested, fall into this? And it comes in third. It comes actually a distant third. Over 55% of people saying, yes, they're following this team more. 25% are saying, it's the same. I'm already invested in this team.
Yeah.
And that's, it's not going to get higher. And then it's 15% saying, I'm just not interested. And then there's the 5% that, no, I've stopped watching, so those are just, there's jokes.
You might want to just include those in the same not interested.
But it's one of those where the fact that that's not higher bodes well for this franchise as they try to turn it around. We've had a lot of discussions over the last 3-4 seasons of why isn't this team getting fans to come. And everyone has valid reasons, and there's a reason for it. The losing specifically at home, the name change, the loss of a season in general where people just found other things to do in their life, all of that does play into this. But one thing I've said for a long time, it's just if they get back to winning, none of that matters. Most of that doesn't matter.
100%.
It's people will show up. People want to show up, and it becomes a hot ticket again. And the fact that over 75% of the votes are either, no, I'm interested, or I'm more interested now, shows that this team still matters.
That's good.
This team's not going. Larry Thompson's didn't just waste his money buying this franchise.
That's a heartwarming response.
Yes,
right? It is. It's good to see that, Edmonton still cherishes their beloved football team. But yeah, obviously, when you're winning and things are going your way, it's going to be the fans that are maybe a little bit more casual or jaded by the team's lack of success. Maybe they come out. And, I mean, we're seeing it in the numbers today, Matty.
Oh, this is already less, this one section.
Yeah, they're going. Tickets are going. I really hope this sells out one way or another. And you were suggesting a way to get this done if you were in the Elks organization.
I know it's happened in the past in other organizations. You buy the remaining tickets. If there's 250 tickets left, as an organization, you just purchase those tickets and you announce that you sold out the lower bowl.
Yeah.
And you will have to add the lower bowl. You can't say we sold out. I think you have to say we sold out the lower bowl.
No, because you
people will
don't
be like,
offer
you're not
seats
sold
for
out.
the top. But I know, but they're not even in availability. They're not even an option.
Evan Daum was on with you and Reed this week, and he mentioned that they couldn't go do it.
Not
they
right
can't
now.
just do it because you need to staff, and they weren't prepared to staff that or anything. It just the numbers weren't there 2 weeks ago to plan for that.
Do you know what booth the guys are at on the tailgate?
31.
Safety Bob is in.
Is it 31?
He's trying to find.
What it is if you go by the Spirit of Edmonton and the stage, I think they're on the north, like to the east of it, just a couple spots.
Okay.
They've got the new cornhole game that we have at Edmonton Sports.
No tent, though, I heard. They're saying that they're sweating out there. The boys are sweating.
Yeah, there's no tent because Trev had to bring the stuff and he had his car.
Well, it's just Trev, right?
Well, Zach should be there.
Oh, Zach should be there.
As long as he had no delays, he was going to be there. No one's texted me today, so I'm figuring that it's all good. Everything's been good there. But I don't know if anything's coming on the nasty chat with that. But it is nice to just see, though, in the end, that people are getting back into this because, well, this team's winning. And that's what it comes down to. And they're climbing up. It's wild to think, they are 5th in the CFL West, a chance to climb up to 4th. We will get to that in a little bit.
And got some help today.
They got some help today. But in the end, they are the 3rd best team right now in the Canadian Football League, in my mind, over the last month and a half.
Be hard to deny that. I mean, behind Montreal, obviously, and BC or Ottawa? Or who are you saying would be the second team?
It was Montreal, Winnipeg.
Winnipeg, yeah, sorry.
I could maybe drop Montreal below Winnipeg now based on what happened this weekend. But those are the top 2 teams. BC's won 2 in a row. Awesome. They lost 5 in a row prior to that. And if we're looking over the last month and a half, that's 6 games or so. The Elks are 4 wins, 2 losses in their last 6. And including that one against Montreal, very close.
You're explaining this to a guy that's went 3-0 against the spread thus far in the CFL picks this weekend.
You might pull the Huss. Huss went 4-0 last week.
I'm looking to go 4-0. However, I am nervously optimistic about today's game. This is the Labor Day rematch. This is a series that has happened 40 or 38 times? 34 times?
I'll pull it up.
Calgary
put
leads
that in your notes?
Calgary leads the series 18-16. They have 18 wins to Edmonton 16. Edmonton has only swept this series 5 times. So this would be, pretty interesting to see if they can get the sweep in the Labor Day Classic and the Labor Day rematch. Calgary is looking to avoid a 4-game losing streak for the first time since 2004. That's 331 games. Yes. And a little fun fact here that, I'm Mr. Run Game, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. When the Edmonton Elks started out the season 0-7, they had 0 100-plus yard rushing games. 0. In all 5 games that they are now 4-1 in, since then, they have had a 100-yard rusher or 100-yard rushing in all 5 games. Combined rushing. Tells you something, right? Pretty self-explanatory there. Run the football.
This is the 35th consecutive set of Labor Day games,
that's what it is.
Dating back to 1989. Only the 1992 year was the second game still in Calgary. Seems weird.
Yeah, reversed? Ugh.
Yeah.
That'd be so weird.
This is only probably the 9th or 10th year, maybe, that it's on the Saturday, too. Because it used to be the Monday, Friday. But Ed Hervey, that was something he got in place for player safety, which I always like the Friday night game, but I fully understand why it's on the Saturday, and I am totally okay with that.
It's funny that this only started in 1989.
The rematch?
The Labor Day,
The rematch game.
Yeah, but I guess the whole thing.
Because the Labor Day has been around,
right? But then
86
to have
years, whatever it is. But the back-to-back.
Yeah,
they better never touch it.
How could you? You'd be stupid to. Well, maybe they will then.
You just never know.
You just never know.
Well, part of it is, look, okay, so this is
pulled his hammy.
This is an Edmonton-Calgary thing that has happened first, and it's been around for a long time.
Yes.
But they're now doing it with Winnipeg, Saskatchewan. I can't remember how long the Banjo Bowl has been going underway, but it's not as long as this series. They could be doing this with Toronto and Hamilton, and they choose not to.
Yeah.
Now, they stuck with the Battle of Ontario still today with Toronto and Ottawa, but the fact that they don't just make it a back-to-back across the board,
why
it's
not?
a little weird because you still have the other three teams. Ottawa, Montreal, BC, one team gets a bye last week, and another team gets a bye this week, and you just play them.
Yeah,
but,
it would be great to see. Why not?
But that's why I say, I don't think the CFL would ever touch it, but there's a part of me that goes, one day the CFL is going to screw with this.
No, I don't think they really can.
I hope not. I think there would be an uproar. There would be an absolute uproar.
Why would they?
By the way, we're at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road, where every day is game day. Jay and I are both already 0 for 1 in the Ponies, but it's going to be a beautiful night. And this is a great time.
Unconfirmed. I haven't checked my ticket yet, but by all accounts, it
was
is.
6.
Hey.
It was 6-4.
Strange things are strange.
4.
What if the 4 got docked?
And then it was
the 4
3.
got scratched.
And then it was a 3 and a 7.
I don't know that for fact.
It's a great spot to be because as I look behind me, I see college football, and I see some CFL will be on there later when this game gets going. And I am going to be very much excited for the college football and the CFL and then the Ponies. It's all happening here at Century Casino. Prime rib sandwich is the daily special. You could also get on a game day special, which is the cheese and jalapeno smoky with the waffle fries that, yes, we confirm works with vinegar.
Let me ask you a question.
Go for it.
Do you think Texas is really that real this year, or do you think Michigan's just having an off year?
I think Texas is that real, and Michigan is too early in this building of this new team, of the offense especially.
Okay, fair.
That's what I will say with that one.
Because Texas dominated that game.
Well, they're veterans. I don't think they lost a lot of players.
They
from
ran
last year.
all over Michigan.
Yeah, and so it's one of those things where I just look at it and think it's possibly
in Michigan, in the Big House.
And
hard to do.
They've won a lot of straight games.
That was the 5th worst loss to have at your home opener, or for a defending champion, a defending national title champion.
Sabalenka wins the U.S. Open women's title, by the way. Just got the notification on that for anyone. Personal injury lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law. Book a free consultation, jameshbrown.com. The first story of this game, we're going to look at the quarterbacks because it's a tale of two different spectrums. On one side, you got MBT coming in feeling pretty good about himself, throwing for almost 500 yards and 3 touchdowns. On the other side, you got Logan Bonner making his first career start, a 26-year-old for the Calgary Stampeders, as they try to salvage their season with a big win here today. Let's start with the Stampeders. This is a bold move by Dave Dickinson, I think. Maybe not.
You don't have a choice. If you went to your fans and said, "Hey, we're gonna roll with Jake Meyer after he threw 4 interceptions last game, looked very uncomfortable in the pocket, a very lackadaisical offense," you'd get blasted. It's the same thing that Jarius Jackson had to remove Beatty from the lineup for one, albeit it was one game, but it made sense. Bonner coming in, very little tape on him. So control what they can control, which is MBT controlling that offense, Jarius Jackson putting together a complete offensive system, run the ball, pass the ball, it opens each other up. But as far as MBT is concerned, because there's not much to talk about Bonner, really. There's no book on him, no tape on him. Amongst some of the legends in the CFL, as he has made it into the top 50 all-time CFL passers with 16,140 career passing yards. He sits at number 50. So as far as Edmonton fans, I know there's a lot of love for Trey Ford, president of the Trey Ford fan club here, sitting to my left. But how could you can't just say, well, we're going to go back to Trey Ford because he's healthy again after suffering the rib injury against BC. You just can't. You can't remove him as MBT has a hot hand. Now, I did say to you in the pregame that as one of the top quarterbacks playing, he's probably active playing and week over week, he's probably the hottest quarterback in the CFL. He'll have the shortest leash, I believe. If he comes out and lays a stinker in the first quarter, I don't think Jarius Jackson would wait as long as he did to get Trey Ford in that Hamilton game.
I was texting with Murray McCourt yesterday at the VPA Golf Show. Big Elks fan himself, big sponsor of the team. He threw out some info to me that he got from his sources. And he actually told me this, hey, just for your show tomorrow.
I love it. Thanks, Murray. Thanks for the scoop.
I was surprised by this. But this is what I was told by Murray from his source. And look, Murray was like one of the first people on.
He broke the ownership news.
The ownership news.
Yeah, he's in the know.
Trey Ford is still not fully healthy. Will be 100% after bye week and will start. Plan is for him to be the guy moving forward and into playoffs. He could play in a pinch if MBT gets hurt, but they don't want to play him till he's fully healthy, so no setbacks.
Wow.
So Trey Ford's still not 100%. They don't want to play Trey Ford till he's 100%, but when he is 100%, he will be the starter.
So you were
of
wrong.
This team. Completely wrong if this is the case.
Right, because your premise was that
I don't think Trey Ford's going to start. I didn't think Trey Ford's going to start again.
You thought the Elks had a real liking for MBT and forget Trey. So I'm going to ask you, how do you feel about that? You must be ecstatic about it.
I'm pleasantly surprised that is what Murray told me. Pleasantly surprised. I didn't think this coaching staff would do that. I didn't think this coaching staff went that way. They didn't show me any signs that this is what they believed. And in the end, like last week, though, I did say with him dressing why he's not starting, I said, well, maybe it's a case of he's just not 100%, and it was in a pinch he could come in. And I guess that is indeed the case. But I thought it would be MBT, and if he falters somewhere, they wouldn't go to Trey Ford. But it sounds like the plan is, no, it's going to be Trey. When the Elks come back from their bye week, because after today, they go on a bye week. Once they come back, they take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. That's going to be with Trey Ford as the starting quarterback.
So would you like to take this opportunity to apologize to the Elks organization for blasting them about things that obviously you didn't know about, but you were assuming?
I will apologize that day if it happens. There's always a chance it doesn't. There's always a chance it still doesn't. There's always, so I will wait.
No, I think that's fair.
If we get to that Winnipeg game and he's starting and MBT plays well today, or actually, it doesn't even matter how MBT plays today, and they go to Trey Ford, I will admit I was wrong, and I'll give Jarius Jackson and that coaching staff full credit.
You know what? I agree with you that it doesn't really matter how MBT plays because MBT seems to be a very confident quarterback right now, and they are, as we know, they are really relying heavily on that run game. They've got all three of their horses back in the stable. They've got Javon Leake, Kevin Brown, and Justin Rankin. That takes a lot of pressure off of your starting quarterback. And we had Mark Cordy, starting center for your Double E, on the Reed Wilkins show yesterday. And I asked him about, blocking for Kevin Brown as opposed to a Javon Leake. I mean, they're totally different running styles. And he says, you know what, Jay, in prior offenses or prior organizations that I've been involved with, yes, you would have different schemes for these guys, but not here. They expect them to run and hit the holes the same way. Obviously, Javon Leake has that home run speed. And boy, wouldn't it be nice to see him hit that crease for one of those runs that just takes off?
Oh, it'd be amazing.
This guy's trying to get on screen.
Come on up.
Come on up. And no, this is 2 weeks in a row without Sandy. But Renee was here, and did she know anything? Has she seen him?
No.
I'm worried about Sandy.
Yeah. It was nice to see Renee.
It was great to see Renee. She said you're her favorite.
Over Eric.
That's
what she says.
Well, why would she say it if she didn't believe it? These seats are dwindling, bro.
Well, I know. I'm watching on Ticketmaster, and it kind of is live as it goes.
They're going to sell out.
They added a few more seats behind the Nova Cocktails party deck. I've noticed that. These other ones, I'm excited to see which more come from. I'm a nerd for these things. I love watching tickets sell. When the Canada soccer games came here, I was very much like following it and tweeting it. Oh, they released some tickets in Section J.
See, Deacon St. John, he's got a good read on
So they added a few more tickets in section, Jay. Get them now.
He's got a pretty good read on the Calgary football situation, and in his opinion, Logan Bonner won't even last a half before he is pulled. He is saying that Jake Maier will finish this game for the Stamps, which would be a good thing for Double E fans. Well, better. That means that they're stinking it up.
Well, it means the defense has come out to play. It's going to be interesting to also see, like, this guy started as a 4th string this season. And Matt Schiltz injured reserve, so then he goes to the 3rd, and now he's worked his way into now being the starting quarterback. I don't think anyone in Calgary was expecting Logan Bonner to be somebody that they were going to be watching this season. And now we will find out who Logan Bonner is. He came in at the very end of last game in true garbage time. It was the last series of the game, I believe it was. There was nothing to go for.
Yeah, there's 0.
Now we'll see what happens where there's going to be a big crowd. You're going against your provincial rival up here in Edmonton with your season on the line. And we will get to this in a bit, but if you lose this game, if you're Calgary, it's kind of done. Like, you're kind of finished when it comes for this season. I do need to throw out a quick love to our Canadian men's soccer team, too, today, as they had a friendly against the U.S., and the U.S. men's national team suffers its first home loss to Canada in 67 years. Canada up 2-0. Schaffelberg and David with the goals for Canada. Our manager, who's American, Jesse Marsh, taking it to his former country, saying he wasn't going to sing the American anthem. He only was going to sing the Canadian anthem because he's feeling more and more Canadian as every day passes.
Great.
Love Jesse Marsh.
What a story.
He was in town a couple weeks ago. I saw it on Reddit, just at a soccer camp or something that was happening.
Googling.
So I just need to throw that one out there.
Who is Jesse Marsh?
He's the manager of the Canadian men's national team.
Right. I was just testing.
From America.
Good.
He was supposed to take the American job, but they didn't give it to him.
Who's the guy behind us? Rose? I don't know. If he comes closer, I'm going to ask him. If I was to guess his name, I've seen him peeking in here. I'd say he looks like a Pete. I'd say Pete.
You love guessing names.
I love guessing names.
You really do. I've learned that about you.
Yeah. He looks like a Pete.
780-218-9999. That is the Paris Jewelers inbox. Oh, my God. Nasty chat as well. I'm just following on.
It's going to sell out. If you don't have a ticket and you want to go to the game, I would get it now.
There's these little spatterings. So they added a couple tickets here in section J, is that I think it is. But the north end zones, they're going to have to release more right away here, whatever's left. Because there's nothing. This is really, I'm jealous. I'm jealous I'm jealous they don't have a ticket and sitting there in the seats to watch this game. But that takes us quite nicely. I think that's my second story of the game, and it is. What are you going to point to?
Well, Deacon St. John makes a good point. Who is listed as Calgary's third quarterback?
Tommy Stevens. He's their short yardage. You don't go to him for passing.
So he's our Prukop.
I'm more Chris Streveler. I would trust Prukop to throw a football.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust Tommy Stevens or Chris Streveler that much to throw a football, personally.
Gotcha.
Our second story of the game is a packed crowd at Commonwealth Stadium. We're watching it on Ticketmaster. We're seeing these tickets are going. One, there's a lot that goes into playing in front of a packed stadium. One, you've got how is this going to impact the Edmonton Elks? How are they going to get? I'll let you get to the Cowboys part to this. Also, how does this impact players? Does it put extra pressure on the players to show up for their crowd? I will say this. Yesterday I was at Foot Fields. Bears, Dinos. It was packed. It was packed. It was sold out. The Bears were minus 14 favorites or whatever it was, and they laid an egg. And it was one with this crowd, there was no real excitement at all in that game. I wonder if the crowd and the pressure of the situation got to the Bears a little bit. What do you think about this packed crowd that we're going to see at Commonwealth Stadium?
It shouldn't affect the players. All these players are coming from programs that would have upwards of 80,000, 60,000 fans for the most case. So if anything, this might just give them a little bit of encouragement to say, wow, let's go, let's ball out. This is fun. This is what you live for as a professional athlete, is to have your hometown stadium packed out. There's going to be 10,000 cowbells given out to the first 10,000 fans that show up there today. They also did the Labor Day rematch tradition, and we both spoke about it last week, where one adult ticket allows you to bring 2 kids with you for free to the game. I just want to say this. Evan Daum was on our show, the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
Vice President of Marketing and Fan Engagement for the Elks.
3 to 6 every weekday. Tune in if you haven't heard. It is a peek and a glimpse into the odd and strange brain of Reed Wilkins. I've said this to him before. He said, "You said I have a strange brain." And I said, "That's a very high compliment." because he goes off into tangents that one would never expect, and that's why he is who he is, and that's what makes him so great. I got to say this. Round of clicks for Evan Dom right now, and that entire Elks organization, because they have embraced this. They are doing the right things. And to top it off this week, to start the week, they announced that they are not giving away, but they have donated $500,000 to local amateur football. So that supports the Wildcats, the Huskies, the Golden Bears, Football Alberta, and the Capital District Minor Football Association. So every reach of football in the Edmonton area has been directly affected. This was $500,000 that was raised during the 2018 Grey Cup that was held here in Edmonton. So all in all, like an outstanding week for that organization. And they need to be, they've been through a lot as an organization in the last, 5 years, let's say. But they got this right. They did a lot of good things here. And, I'm very happy about that. Maddie's showing me, yeah.
Well, they got a truck and they painted it, the Stampeders truck, and there people could go and smash it at the tailgate right now. On the very top, it said it was like Jake Mayer's ride or something like that, and 4 interceptions.
Can I just say something about last night's Bears game? I know this is the Green and Gold kickoff show, but
it is Green and Gold.
Calgary came into the footfield and took Alberta's lunch. 36-22 was the final score. Okay, Maddie, here's the thing. 36 points scored by Calgary. They did not have one offensive touchdown.
I know.
Not one.
I know.
They had 15 points. They had 5 field goals and 3 interceptions returned for touchdowns. That's got to be some sort of a record. And I'm not even just talking in Canada West or U Sports. I mean, in football, amateur, to have 36 points put up and not score one offensive touchdown, it's got to be.
3 pick sixes.
I got to get his name.
What's your name, sir?
This is the Green and Gold Kickoff Show. Matt Iwanyk, Jay Milne with you here live on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Thanks to those listening on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, as well as on YouTube. What's his name?
Johnny. I thought Pete, but Johnny's close.
We're live at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, where every day is game day. Come join us. There's almost no tickets left. If you want to go to this game, you almost can't. So come join us at Century Casino and watch it with us. They've released another 2 rows worth of tickets, but it's going. They're going. And it's
going.
It's 30 minutes to go. And maybe they won't announce a full sellout today of the lower bowl. I'm going to guess they're announcing over 31,000 though today. And look, we look at this team, and 35 points. I think we had it last week on average over the prior 5 games. They scored defensively, only giving up 22.
Yes,
like on average a 35-22 record.
Yeah.
Like that's an exciting.
It's going to lead to wins.
But it's also exciting brand of football.
Yeah.
Like it's not like the Elks have won 4 or 5, but they're doing so. Like, and I love defense. I'm a defensive guy. I understand that that's not everybody. It's not like they're winning football games 15-10.
Right.
And it's boring. A lot of field goals.
Good point. Yep.
This is also an exciting brand of football, and it's not just Trey Ford. It's the entire offense. And last week, that includes McLeod Bethel-Thompson. And that's what just makes tonight, with a packed stadium, this could be very special.
It could be, but they could also lay a giant egg.
Absolutely.
And I'm
just like yesterday what we saw with the Bears.
But they are also second in the CFL in the turnover ratio, and I've harped on this since day one. This is a great stat. If you want to look at a stat as how your team is playing and the overall game, they are second in the CFL in turnover ratio behind Saskatchewan. They are plus 15. Which means they've taken the ball away 15 more times than McLeod Bethel-Thompson or the offense has given the ball up. So that is a huge factor in winning games. They are definitely trending the right way. I said to my wife before I left, we were talking about the game this morning, and I said I'm nervously optimistic about it, because if the Double E go out and have a resounding win, if they put the foot down and do their business and come out with a, I'm just going to say it. I'm predicting a 38-21 Double E win today, okay? And that might even be giving Calgary too much credit. But I just went with the points that the defense is currently giving up. If they do that, I think then, folks, we've got something to talk about here, and something's happening big. And I mean Grey Cup big.
Well, Farhan Lalji said that they're a Grey Cup contender. And he's not wrong by watching it. This isn't just they're hot because they won football games. their Hawks are playing good football.
But it's game like this that you should win. Everybody's expecting to win. The team's feeling good. Everything's trending up. But you have that one letdown, that lay an egg one game. And I think Edmonton has the people in place to not let that happen. But I'm very interested to see how the game progresses. And also, well, I'll wait to the keys to the game. But I have something that is it's going to be something for you guys to watch in the first half that I think will make or break a win or a loss today for the Double E.
They released about another 6 rows worth of tickets, so I'll be watching those ones very closely.
Fascinating. I wish you could live stream this, Matty. It is entertaining.
Actually, we could put it on here a little bit and just have the Ticketmaster going, but I don't want to mess. We've had a little bit of internet issues here tonight. I do want to get into our final story of the game.
Yeah, sure.
Which is the hunt for that playoff spot. That wanting to be in the Grey Cup. To get there, you have to first make the playoffs. And the Edmonton Elks do currently sit 5th in the CFL West. That's not a playoff spot last time I checked, so they do have to claw their way. Win today, though, the Edmonton Elks for the first time since, and I would have to go double-check this completely, I think outside of week 1, when you start a week or a season, the Elks will not be the bottom of the CFL West for the first time since, I think, early 2021 season. This is a team that has gone off to really bad starts over a number of years, sits at the bottom, but a win today would put them 2 points up of the Calgary Stampeders. They would have the season series with the Calgary Stampeders, so in effect, they're 4 points up on the Calgary Stampeders. With the Bombers beating the Rough Riders, they're a point back of the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Because of that point, the tiebreaker doesn't really come into play unless the Elks or the Rough Riders tie another game this season. But the Elks, at this moment, have the season series over the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. They have the season series over the BC Lions, although for that one, they would be 6 points back, I believe, if they win today. They'd be 4 points back of the BC Lions if they win today. But and for the Calgary Stampeders, the flip side to this is if you win today, you are 1 point back of the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. You are 4 points back of the BC Lions and a Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and you give a 2-point separation between yourself and the Edmonton Elks with that game in hand, which you could make 4 points if you take care of business. For both these teams, if you want to make the playoffs, it's a must-win.
Last week was a must-win. This week's a must-win. I think, and Reed and I went through it on the show of finding a path that I think realistically the Elks could find themselves getting to a 9-9 record. I think an 8-10 record gets you in. It would satisfy me and a lot of the Glue crew, who we are now trending up for our over wins bet that was made at the earlier in the year on Cool Bet. That was over what, 6.5, or was it? Yeah,
I think it was 6.5. They needed 7.
So
the Elks have had right now in this season. They have as many wins as they had last year, and as many wins as they had 2 years ago.
And interestingly enough, this is now coming into the view as a possible crossover, and maybe not for the Double E, but for a Western Division team, as Toronto has just hit the skids, and the Chad Kelly coming back has been very much so a failure at this point. So there is an opportunity if teams in the West, I guess it would be between the Double E and the Rough Riders for a possible team that could also cross over to the Eastern Division. So something to keep your eye on. Not as optimistic as that as I am about Edmonton, in their last 6 games, right? They've got 6 games left, and I could see them going 4-2 in those 6 games. Possibly even
Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, Toronto, Calgary.
That's right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then Calgary today.
Yeah.
So it's 6 games
left.
I was for some reason already
4-2,
today.
possibly even 5-1.
Yeah.
I mean, if this team keeps playing the way they are and how capable they are, who's going to beat them? Who's going to stop them? And that is
the rest of the way.
That
Winnipeg,
is what you just.
That'd be it.
That is what it just is so beautiful about sports, is when teams get on these rolls. Now, are they trending hot too early? I don't know, and I don't care. Just got to get into the dance and make something of this season that started out 0-7. So yeah, I'm optimistic about it. Obviously, Winnipeg is trending in the right direction. I've gone ahead and crowned Winnipeg as the team that's going to go ahead and take the Western Division. I don't think BC, it'll be close. But BC has a tougher schedule. I will say that in the last 6 games than Winnipeg.
BC has a tougher schedule, you said?
Yeah. They get Montreal twice in their last 6 games. I mean,
well, they already played them once and they beat them.
Yeah, that's true.
Now Montreal has to come to Vancouver.
True.
They get Toronto, they get Hamilton, they get Calgary, they get Saskatchewan, they get Alouettes. And over Winnipeg? Who does Winnipeg have the rest of the way?
Well, Edmonton.
Edmonton would be tougher right off the bat. Blue Bombers, their schedule, they get Edmonton, Hamilton, Toronto, Montreal. And that last game might not matter for Montreal.
May not, yeah, true enough.
Actually, next week's the weird part of the CFL schedule where we have 3 teams on bye, I think it is. Saskatchewan's on bye next week, Edmonton's on bye next week, and Winnipeg's on bye next week. We only have 3 games next weekend in the Canadian Football League. So, Winnipeg and Edmonton are both going to be very, very refreshed, you would think, going into that one. But the hunt for a playoff spot, the Elks need this one. Otherwise, they need to go sweep those Winnipegs. We said they needed to sweep one of these 2 series. It had to be Calgary, it had to be Winnipeg. They're in prime position to go sweep Calgary, and that puts you in a really good spot on that hunt for the playoff spot because the Saskatchewan Roughriders, they continue to keep reeling. They get the bye week, like I said, next week. Who do they come back from the bye week with? They come back with Calgary. One of those teams is going to lose, which is good for Edmonton right off the bat. Saskatchewan then gets Ottawa, who I think they're good. I don't know anymore.
Hard to say. They look good today.
Yeah, they look great today.
Terrible weather out there.
They looked good last week against the BC Lions. So we'll see how that all plays out. That'll be a fun one because it'll be the rematch from the tie game.
That's right.
And we'll see how that goes. So there was your 3 storylines, which is brought to you by James H. Brown, Alberta personal injury lawyers. Let's get to our cool bet props of the game. Jay, what are you looking at today?
Well, this will lead into my key to the game, but I'm looking at the first half spread.
Okay.
So right now, Edmonton is favored to be at -2. So I'm on Edmonton, first half spread -2. That was -115 on coolbet.com. It's important. It's very important for Edmonton to have a dominant first half. I'll get into it more. What was your cool bet, Matty?
Total points for the Edmonton Elks. It's set at 28.
Oh, I like that.
-111 for over 28 points for the Edmonton Elks.
You're just going with the stats. You're going with the numbers.
Last 5 weeks,
in the 30s.
They've put up 35 points. When you look at just last week alone, the Edmonton Elks against this very Calgary Stampeders team put up 35.
So all things trending that way, but I'm still like, can't get over that thought in my head that they could possibly. I mean,
that's this franchise.
Yes.
Whenever over the last many years you get excited for something, they fall flat.
Yeah.
Like last year, it was an excitement to start the season. Okay, this is the year things are going to improve, and they lose the first game because they can't punch it in from the one on three cracks at it.
So maybe this is
there's constant. The start of this season, you're excited. Okay, brand new season. Let's see how this goes. New quarterback. People like okay, and they fall flat. And now it's like okay, well, it's almost like this franchise can't have good things. So now that a good thing is happening, how is Lucy going to pull the football from them?
Well, maybe. Great.
Thank you.
Great reference there. Maybe this is the exact time that this team needed to have this type of crowd at Commonwealth. Maybe that's just going to help them not lay an egg. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that's going to motivate them, to really propel and really keep moving forward.
Last year for the Edmonton Elks,
and an upcoming bye week. I mean, that always gets guys going too because they get to go home, see their family.
Well, but that also could be the negative part to that, where you're looking at 2 ahead to the bye week.
It motivates you. Let's say it motivates you.
Last year, 32,422 people are at Commonwealth Stadium. They won on a Dean Faithful walk-off field goal. They won 25-23. It was great walking out of the stadium that day.
But it's not going to be the same atmosphere.
I had Gager gave me 2 burgers that day. It was wonderful.
Not the same atmosphere.
And it's not going to be the same atmosphere.
Spread out.
You had people up per deck. Like in the lower bowl, you probably had a good 22, 23, 20. Well, I'd say probably 25,000, which was great. It was actually a really good vibe last year. This year, you're going to have that 31,000 or whatever it is, as I go back to Ticketmaster and refresh, those 6 rows. Where are we at? They're down to like none of them. They keep trending. Everyone's either going to have to be standing on that North Concourse or sitting in their seats. And that is going to bring a nice atmosphere. And then the cowbells in themselves. Those 10,000 cowbells just bring that little noise. Now, we're running a little late for people that are at the game, maybe tuning in for us. The one thing I will say is, if you have the cowbell, or if you're going to make any noise, please, this isn't just Iwanyk being annoying. This isn't Iwanyk trying to dictate how things are. This is football. When the offense is on the field, shh, quiet. But when the defense is on the field, take that cowbell and ring it as loud as you can. Make as much noise as you can. That's how it goes. So I really hope the people, the 10,000 that got the cowbells, the kids are going to be excited about it. If you're with a kid there, you teach them how to do it properly.
I just love it. I think the cowbell is funny. It's just great. The organization knocked this one out of the park, I will say. I sent a message about that to the powers that be. But yeah, where are we at here? Okay, so we're getting into it a bit here. We're up against the clock a bit. I'm going to jump into my keys to the game. Obviously, I've said that this. I've predicted a 38-21 victory.
Oh, you going to that already?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because we still got to get to Tevin Jones.
Well, let's play Tevin Jones.
Let's go to Tevin Jones.
Sure. Good point.
Let's hear what Tevin Jones had to say as he's coming off a very big performance last week for the Edmonton Elks, over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. By the way, I have a beef quickly. They have the CFL honors list. McLeod Bethel-Thompson was named as one. Well-deserved round of clicks for McLeod Bethel-Thompson.
MBT.
For receiver, it was Curly Gittens Jr., and I don't want to disrespect Curly Gittens Jr., but how is it not Tevin Jones? How is he not on the honors list for this past week? How are you not honoring a receiver that caught the ball for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns? It makes zero sense. The honors list, I don't get it. It makes no. Curly Gittens Jr. wasn't even the second best receiver for the Elks last week. It was Eugene Lewis. Dumb. Here's Tevin Jones of the Edmonton Elks.
How does it feel to have such a big impact on such a big game?
It feels great. It's the Battle of Alberta, so I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm glad that things rolled our way, and I'm glad to be here in Edmonton. What else can I ask for?
Can you take us through that play when Gino lost the ball and you scooped it up?
Well, yeah, they called the play, and I ran my route, and we're supposed to run to the ball, or just to get a block, or just to if something crazy happens, and something crazy happened. So Gino made a great move, and the ball landed on the ground, and I picked it up and then took off running. And when I was running, I said, yeah, I'm out of here. So I'm running, and the CFL field is so big. I'm like, man, this is long. Got kind of tired and got caught at the one. But I'm glad that things rolled our way.
You've been able to come here and make a huge impact immediately. How have you done that?
Patience and I guess hard work. So at the beginning it was tough because I really wanted to play, especially outside looking in, because before that so I didn't have a job. I was on the couch watching, and things are looking kind of down for me, and honestly I was thinking about not playing anymore. But I stuck with it, prayed about it, talked to my mom, my family, and I ended up here, and great things are happening.
And you've had quite the journey, NFL and CFL. What has kept you going?
These guys, actually. I come here, I make new friends, and friends come, create bonds, and now we're more like family. So being here every day, you have no choice but to hang out with the guys, and you want to do things great for your family, for your brother. So as far as that play, Gino thanks me all the time. Hey man, thank you so much. I'm like, bro, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm here for. And connections like that will eventually we'll talk about that for years from now, and that's a good thing.
Absolutely. How challenging has it been to move around so much and have you go through the challenges of being signed and unsigned and for a job a lot?
Yeah, so I was in the NFL for a while, 6 teams. So me being a professional, I'm used to it. So everywhere I go, I just try to put my best foot forward and try to gel into the system, and then show what I can do. And everywhere I've been, I feel like I made an imprint somehow, some way, because the teams that I have played for, we play against, all the guys come to me, give me a hug. Whether it's upstairs in the office or downstairs, all the way down to the equipment people. They all love me. So I must be doing the right things. So here I'm trying to do the same thing and leave a legacy.
And do you feel like you might have found a home here in Edmonton?
I hope so. I hope I found more than a home, but I love it here. So far, it's been great, and I can't wait for this game and watch the stands go crazy when we score and we win.
There's Tevin Jones of the Edmonton Elks speaking with the media earlier this week. Matt Iwanyk, Jay Milne with you on the Green and Gold Kickoff Show live at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. Elks getting set to take on the Stampeders just after 5 o'clock down at Commonwealth Stadium, which is in just mere minutes. As I refresh Ticketmaster, as we keep a watch on selling this lower bowl out, all those extra release tickets in the north end zone, they're gone.
Under 50.
There's going to be more seats to be unveiled, like released. I don't think they've released everything, but we're talking about dozens of tickets left.
Crazy.
Dozens.
It's exciting.
Of tickets. Well, and it is, because this is what I think the Elks were also kind of envisioning when they sold out or closed the upper bowl.
Yes.
Was to build an atmosphere. That was part of this too. To get people all sitting in the seats together. Because when you're sitting next to each other, it just brings that atmosphere, brings that little buzz. That Riverhawks games, one of the things that shot them up this year was the Canada Day game when it was sold out.
Yeah.
And then more people wanted to go, but it was also just a nice buzz and atmosphere. The Oil Kings, for a number of years at Rogers Place, they struggled with an atmosphere because they sat in that lower bowl. I forgot what it does in the lower bowl. I think it's 11,000 out of the 18,000 is in the lower bowl. But they would get 4,000 or 5,000 people, but they'd be spread out, so there was no atmosphere.
Last year
they were getting over 10,000.
When the Riverhawks sold out, they put like a piece of paper on the doors.
That's a little minor football right there, or minor baseball right there.
Great.
But this is going to be fun, and the Elks. People want to cheer for this team. People want to go support this team. People want to go watch this team. They're just tired of a losing product.
I want to see what it looks like. It's been a long time since I've seen it, and I'm excited to see it.
And a beautiful
TV.
night.
Yeah.
What do we got temperature-wise right now?
It's got to be high 28, 29.
30 degrees with Humidex is 31.
Beautiful.
Like,
Beautiful.
I'm so jealous of that right now.
My kids were in the pool all day yesterday and today. It shouldn't be open right now.
That's.
No, it's not a
amazing.
fancy pool. It's an above-ground pool. Get off me. But keys to the game, Matt.
Let's get to our keys to an Elks victory.
I've been waiting.
Keys to an Elks victory.
Okay, here's the deal. This season, the Green and Gold are 0-5 when trailing at the first half. 0-5. Since 2019, they are 6-43 when trailing after the first half. It is imperative to get off to a good start, to put the foot down, keep the gas on, and do not let up.
Thank you.
That is why I took the prop of first half spread of Edmonton -2. If they are ahead at half, if they are ahead by double digits at half, this game's over. Book it, Dano. I wish I could. I don't know how to do that, but maybe I'll make another bet at halftime.
This is how great people at Centra are. They just brought us a big jug of water.
What would you call that? A carafe?
Well, I'd look at that. That's like a milk bottle.
Milk jug?
Milk jug. I would go with milk jug.
Milk jug?
Almost, but
I think.
Glass milk.
Is there a name on this?
Jug.
I'd say carafe. Hey, there's Johnny.
A square glass jar, I guess.
That's lame.
Okay,
Johnny.
well, that's cool.
French square glass jars. There you go.
Oh, Johnny. There we go. My keys to an Elks victory is feed off this crowd. Feed off of it. This is going to be a solid atmosphere. This is going to be an amazing atmosphere. I do remember last year's Labor Day rematch. It was a great atmosphere, but not everyone was seated right together. This is going to be, again, very jealous that we're not sitting in those seats for this one. Because
we
it's going to be
contemplated going,
but we weren't in the seats.
But it's gonna, there's people already saying it is a gong show out there.
But it's also, we would have to go sit in the media. And that would make me, I would hate
even
that.
More jealous.
Well, I'd hate that because it's all quiet. The media room is very quiet. It's not fun. I want to be in those seats. I want to sit there in those seats, and I'm jealous of everyone going. But if you're the Elks team, feed off of that. That crowd is going to be there. That crowd is going to want to support you. That crowd wants to see you beat the Calgary Stampeders, win 5 of 6, and move into 4th place in the West as you keep that climb going for that playoff spot. There's a lot of good buzz around this team. As I said in the start, this is a hot ticket. It's a hot day. It's a hot team. Everything's going. And feed off of that crowd, and I think it will lead the Edmonton Elks to their victory.
I'm not going to ask you to predict a score, but I'm going to ask you a question. Are the Elks at the by 8 o'clock tonight, are the Elks 5-8?
I'm not jinxing anything. I'm not going one way or the other. I'm not going one
You're
way
learning.
or the other.
Matty
I'm
Mush.
not going one way or the other.
Matty Mush, he knows.
I'm not doing it. I'm not even going to say I'm not going to make a prediction on that one. Because I don't do predictions. I'm not jinxing it.
This is a good sign, folks.
I'm not jinxing this.
Sign.
I'm not doing anything.
Love it. I love the dedication to your craft.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Sorry, we're doing a show right now.
That's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, we're on camera. So are you.
Well, she's not fully.
She could be. Yeah,
well,
she's right here.
Yeah, no, well.
There
Oh,
she
okay.
is. Okay. All right.
I feel like you are doing the show.
We
Yeah,
are doing a show. That's why the lights are on and we're live right now. We're trying to wrap this up
Are
right
you
now.
Are you going to watch the Elks game today?
Okay,
Good.
that sounds about right.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
When I look
We
at
can tell.
When I look at Commonwealth Stadium right now, I see a row in double A. I see a row in double Q, and that is all I see. The Edmonton Elks. Pardon? No, there are not free. I do not have free tickets. I'm sorry. The game's
sold out.
The game's about to start in 2 minutes. I wouldn't be giving away tickets at this moment. They're going to be sold out momentarily. The Elks, they are taking on the Stampeders, looking to sweep the Labor Day series for the first time since 2002. If you don't have the ticket to the game, come down to Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, and maybe you could join us for the post-game show as Johnny has and other people have.
What was your name?
Frank.
Frank. And Frank's here.
And
think
we got
that's a
the prime
fake
rib sandwich. We got the cheese and jalapenos. Smoky. And we're going to just watch some football here down at
Let's
Century
go
Casino. You're predicting the Elks.
38-21.
I'm not making a prediction. But thank you for tuning into the Green and Gold Kickoff Show live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Coming up next, I think we're going to replay the Reed and Wilkins show with Jay Milne.
Oh, God. You're going to have to hear more
We're
of
going
me.
to have that on the audio stream. But we will be back with the post-game show once this ends. Enjoy this football game. Have a great time watching it. Enjoy this nice weather. On behalf of Jay, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning in to the Green and Gold Kickoff Show. We'll talk to you once this game finishes.